What's up, it's George the Fragrance Press. Me and Jeremy Fragrance are now friends. Can you believe it? Probably one of the most unlikeliest couples ever in the history, not just of Fragcom, but probably the internet. People have been asking and demanding that we do a modern day reboot of the film Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, and all I'm going to say is, why do you think we were at Universal Studios? I mean, come on, let's be honest. So yes, we get on, we have, I hope, mutual respect for each other, but I'm still going to call him out when I hear, things that I don't agree with on his opinions on fragrance. And one of the things that I really didn't agree with, and one of the things that rather I felt he oversimplified and maybe didn't necessarily give it a good chance, if you will, is 1 Million Parfum. 1 Million Parfum is, in my opinion, not just the greatest 1 million flanker, I think it's been one of the greatest designer flankers for a long time. Privé, people love. Lucky, people really love. Cologne, I'm not a big fan of. And before this, Paco Rabanne also have released 1 Million Absolutely Gold, which was apparently a pure parfum concentration. People have been asking me what the comparisons between this and 1 Million Parfum are. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to smell Absolutely Gold, so I'm sorry I won't be able to do that here on this video. And when I smelt this, I was like blown away, and I thought, wow, this is the 1 million that I've been waiting for. This is the 1 million that I've been asking for such a long time. And then I saw Jeremy's review on it, and then also the video where it was like, these are the fragrances you shouldn't buy, and he just sort of, it wasn't that he didn't like it, it was just he was so dismissive of it.
Don't buy the new 1 Million Parfum, because this has an overdose of sweetness, which the original already has, but it lacks the sexy grapefruit fruitiness which the original has.
And I thought, listen, I can totally understand why you don't like this. Totally understand. Do I believe that Jeremy Fragrance doesn't like 1 Million Parfum? 100%. This is not his style. This is not the thing that he would go for. Totally respect that. But the way that he just sort of brushed it off, I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot of people who really, really love and really listen to Jeremy, and they won't even give this the time of day. But here it is. Here is my defense of 1 Million Parfum. Let's get to the presentation. First of all, killer presentation. Absolutely love it. I love the thing around the 1 million logo. Really, really cool. Makes it striking. It's just a sort of return to the original 1 million look, but with that beautifully embossed dish spiral thing that's on it. Really cool. I'm really happy with it, and not just that, but I like the fact that it's basically a return to the original 1 million design, but with some extra flourish. I love the original 1 million design. I think it's absolutely brilliant, so it works really well. Also, maybe I could have wanted a little bit more out of it, maybe, I don't know, but for what it is, I think that it's great. I'm really happy with it. It's a 4 out of 5. But then we get to the scent. This is the most important part, of course. This is 1 million. This is 1 Million Parfum. I only bought a 50ml of this because I literally had no chance to sample it. I just blind bought it. Now that I've got it, I would have been more than happy to have bought a 1 mil version of 1 Million Parfum. But there is a big difference, and all I'm going to say is this. This is a teenager, 20-year-old who is just like screwing about, doesn't really have much of a job, just going, traveling, doing whatever, is into fast cars, partying, all that kind of stuff. This is that same man, but he's now got a mortgage, a family, kids, and a really good job. This is pretty much 1 million grown up. There's two types of 1 million fans. I did discuss this on the compliment factor, but I want to elaborate more. And it goes like this. People love the opening of 1 million. One of the greatest openings of all time. It's the reason why 1 million sold so much. In fact, one of the big things that you learn in fragrance sales and the business side of fragrance, and this is something that is kind of told to perfumers, and perfumers don't necessarily like it, they are taught that really, when it comes to selling fragrance, only the opening matters. The reason being, it's the first impression. It's the first thing that a potential customer will smell. Now, you might get lucky, as in, the customer sprays it on and then they walk around with it. That's why a lot of these fragrance salespeople who, one I used to be, we got taught, always spray on the skin, always spray on the skin. Do not spray on the card, because they can throw the card away. They can't throw their skin away, obviously. And so if the dry down's really good, then they'll be smelling it as the day goes along. But mostly people are taught it's the opening. The opening is the most important part. And technically, it still is. Obviously it isn't right now because no stores are open, but you know, it's still a discipline that's really put into a perfumier's mind. So 1 Million has got one of the greatest openings ever, and I'll just waste a spray. Yeah, it is cinnamon, it is grapefruit, it is incredible. Very, very sweet, very, very amazing. This is 1 Million. This is quite different. This sort of replaces grapefruit, and it's almost like passion fruit. So in the original 1 Million, you have that opening and you have the cinnamon, you have the citrus, you have the grapefruit, and that's a very, very long-standing part of the fragrance until it dries down, maybe 2 or 3 hours in, and then you've got that sort of more visceral, leathery, sweet sexiness that has a lot of wood, has an ample amount of fruit to keep going, but this is more about depth. This is more about the sort of the darker elements, the headier elements. This is the woods, this is the leathers, all that kind of stuff. 1 Million Parfum basically goes for a very, very tart, dried, fruity opening, and then it just skips to the woody leather elements and really, really amps that all up. This is basically taking the darker elements of the original 1 Million formulation and giving it a centre stage. The other flankers like Privé and Lucky, they were more interested in exploring the citrusy elements, the fruity elements of 1 Million. Privé maybe not so much, it did have its depth, there's no question, but it was still working on that theme. And as much as I appreciated that, and as much as I liked that, part of me was like, yeah, but what about the part of 1 Million that's really deep? What about the part of 1 Million that has all of those woods and, you know, that real depth to it? When are we going to get a fragrance that really explores that? 1 Million Parfum is that fragrance. It's all about the woods, the leather, the amber, the cinnamon. It's all about depth. It's all about those lower, bassier toned notes. You do have that nice sort of bright, fruity kind of opening, but it's a lot drier, it's a lot more tart, and it's just a lot less brighter. It is dimmed. It doesn't maybe necessarily have the bright, youthful optimism and excitement that the original 1 Million has, but like I said, I've kind of done with that. I've enjoyed the different variations with Lucky and Privé. I wanted 1 Million to grow up, I wanted 1 Million to grow old, I wanted 1 Million to be wise and mature. I wanted that part of the story. Because again, 2006 was the year that this was released, and the clientele that grew up with 1 Million, the customers that grew up with 1 Million, they literally grew up. They have become men now, and maybe Paco Rabanne, this is my thinking, they might have thought to themselves, well, the clientele has grown older, maybe we should now give something to them that represents that. And that's one of the greatest gifts that you can give anybody in art. And that's kind of what I feel 1 Million Parfum has done. We get it, you're not teenagers anymore, you all have jobs, hopefully. So that is my take on the scent. I think it's beautiful, I think it's wonderful, I think it's really, really quite something. And just in general, if you took all of that away, it's a really fantastic smell. I totally get why Jeremy doesn't like it. It isn't as partying, it isn't as wild, and it probably won't get as many compliments because a lot of those sort of citrusy, bright, attention-grabbing elements have been toned down. So I totally see why Jeremy may warn you of that. But from my standpoint, with everything that I've just said, this is a 5 out of 5. One thing that certainly hasn't changed is the performance. Incredible, incredible performance. Maybe a little bit more toned down on the longevity. The longevity is not as maybe solid as it was, and it certainly isn't beast mode. But the projection, especially in the first few hours, is still incredibly, incredibly impressive. It does die down after a few hours, but still, that initial hit is what 1 Million is known for. Ludicrously big. That's on my skin, it might be different on yours. Projection, I would give a 4.5 out of 5. The longevity, probably a little bit more conservative, I'd give a 4 out of 5. But still, very good. 1 Million Parfum is an incredible, incredible addition to the 1 Million line, and it is one of my favourite designers that I have smelt in such a long time, especially when it comes to something that is more oriental, that's a little bit darker and has some of those gourmand elements. A phenomenal, phenomenal fragrance. And if you just want the compliments and you just want to go on the whole sort of Jeremy hype train, his warnings I understand, but from my point of view, somebody who is a fan of this as art and somebody who likes the more sort of complicated dark elements of 1 Million, and if you want to see that part of 1 Million in all of its glory, this is a phenomenal, phenomenal fragrance. Overall, I'm happy to give it a 5 out of 5. Absolutely fantastic flanker, and probably my favourite flanker from 1 Million. Anyway, thanks so much, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe, leave a like. This channel is uploading fragrance content very regularly at the moment, so you'll be seeing me soon. Anyway, I'm the Fragrance Sprayers, thanks for watching, bye.
The sign